Have you ever thought about how weird it would be if one day America just decided to get rid of its highways? I mean, imagine driving cross-country and suddenly, whoops, no more interstates. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the kicker. That's exactly what's happening in some parts of the US. Yep, the country that practically invented car culture is now spending billions, yes, billions, to tear down highways. So, what's going on here? Why is America, the land of road trips and fast cars, suddenly pumping the brakes on its beloved highways? And what are they planning to replace them with? Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Before we continue, I'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of our viewers watch without subscribing. And while it's free for you, it makes a world of difference to us. Have you hit that subscribe button? Awesome! Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Before we dive into the why, let's rewind a bit. Believe it or not, there was a time when American cities weren't car-obsessed at all. Think about cities like Baltimore, Detroit, and Cleveland. These places were more in line with European urban designs, with streets made for people, not cars. Back in the 1920s, cars were a luxury, not a necessity. There was literally one car for every 18,000 people. Fast forward to today, and there are over 280 million cars and trucks on American roads. Talk about a glow-up. So, what flipped the switch? Enter Henry Ford and the Model T in 1908. Affordable, reliable, and mass-produced, the Model T turned cars from a luxury item into something almost every American family could own. This sparked a massive boom in car culture, and cities like Detroit became the heart of automobile production. But here's the thing. Even though people were buying cars left and right, there was a huge problem. The roads, they were trash. In the early 20th century, driving was pretty much a gamble. In 1924 alone, there were about 23,000 deaths and $1 billion in property damage from car accidents. Cars started getting a bad rep, and people were hesitant to buy them. I mean, who wants to shell out for a shiny new car if the roads are going to destroy it? The auto industry had to fix this, fast. So, they came up with a genius plan. Build better roads. Big auto companies like General Motors and Ford teamed up to form the American Highway Users Alliance. Their mission? Convince the government to pour taxpayer money into building highways. And it worked. They even showcased a futuristic model of American highways at the 1939 World Fair. Think automated highways and sprawling suburbs. People loved it. After all, who wouldn't want to cut down a month-long journey to just a few hours? But the real game changer came in 1956, when President Eisenhower signed the National Highway Act. Eisenhower, having seen the efficiency of Germany's roads during World War II, was a huge highway fan. He set aside $25 billion to build the interstate system, and by the 1990s, nearly 45,000 miles of highway were completed. This was great news for car companies and drivers alike, but as it turns out, not so great for everyone else. Here's where things start to go sideways. While highways made travel faster and more convenient, they also had some pretty nasty side effects. To build thousands of miles of roads, entire neighborhoods, homes, businesses, communities were wiped out. Nearly 1 million people were displaced. Cities were literally sliced in half, isolating neighborhoods and bringing pollution right into the heart of urban areas. People started to fight back. In cities like San Francisco, New York, and Washington, D.C., residents with the means to organize protests managed to stop highway projects in their tracks. San Francisco, for example, successfully halted the construction of the double-decker Embarcadero Freeway, preserving its waterfront. But not all cities were so lucky. Take Rochester, New York, for instance. The city built a 2.7-mile ring known as the Inner Loop, which basically acted like a giant moat separating downtown from surrounding neighborhoods, especially black communities. The highway created a divide that led to economic decline and isolation. After years of discussion, the city finally decided to remove a section of the inner loop east. They converted the area into pedestrian and bike paths, reconnecting neighborhoods and sparking new economic activity. Since its removal in 2017, walkability has increased by 50%, and the area is seeing a fresh wave of development. And Rochester isn't alone. Boston faced a similar issue with Interstate 93, which cut right through the heart of the city, separating neighborhoods and creating nightmarish traffic. By the 1990s, the highway was handling 200,000 vehicles a day, with traffic jams lasting up to 10 hours. Yikes. The solution? Tear it down. Well, kind of. Boston undertook the Big Dig, a massive project to bury the highway underground and replace it with the Rose Kennedy Greenway, a beautiful 17-acre park. The project cost a jaw-dropping $24 billion, making it the most expensive highway project in American history. But the results were worth it. The city reconnected neighborhoods, reduced congestion, and attracted $7 billion in private investment. But let's be real. Tearing down highways isn't cheap. And it's not without controversy. Some states, like Texas, are doubling down on highway construction instead of removal. Take the I-45 expansion project in Houston. The state is spending $13 billion to reroute and expand the highway, adding more lanes to accommodate the city's growing population. But critics argue that this will displace hundreds of residents, many from historically Black and Latino neighborhoods. Plus, expanding highways doesn't actually fix traffic. It often makes it worse. Ever heard of induced demand? It's the idea that adding more lanes encourages more people to drive, leading to the same level of congestion. Urban planner Lewis Mumford put it perfectly. Adding car lanes to deal with traffic congestion is like loosening your belt to cure obesity. Need proof? Look at Houston's Katy Freeway. In the early 2000s, it was one of the most congested highways in the US, so officials decided to expand it. At its widest point, the freeway now boasts 26 lanes. Yes, 26, making it one of the widest highways in the world. The project cost $2.8 billion and was completed in 2008. But by 2014, travel times had actually increased by 30% in the morning and 55% in the afternoon. Talk about a backfire. So, what's the solution? It's not just about removing highways or adding more lanes. The real fix lies in investing in public transportation, metros, buses, trains. A robust public transport system can encourage people to ditch their cars, reducing congestion and pollution. But of course, that's easier said than done. Public transport projects are expensive and take years to complete. Plus, many Americans have never known a world without highways. The idea of relying on public transport can feel foreign, even uncomfortable. But here's the thing. Cities across the US are already making strides. Los Angeles, New York, and other major cities are investing billions in public transportation projects. The goal? Create cities that are less car-dependent, more pedestrian-friendly, and better connected. So what do you think? Is tearing down highways the right move? Or should we be focusing on other solutions? Have you seen any of these projects in your city? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest in urban development and transportation. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.